listen.
Please be seated. We're going to start our program shortly. For as long as the space endures, and for as long as the living beings remain, until then may I too abide to dispel the misery of the world. I begin this gratitude dinner session or program with quoting the beautiful and meaningful, one of the favorite quotation of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. The 3 days Melam, or the collective prayers that we have here in this beautiful, spacious community hall, Kangjung Chendeling Community Hall, is our small effort to spread the message of love and to do something that would become a factor to dispel or eliminate the misery of the world. Dashi Delek, Namaste, and very good evening. His Holiness the Vajradhara Sakyakoma Teacher Rinpoche, His Holiness the 42nd Sakyatinzi Ratna Vajra Rinpoche, His Holiness the 43rd Sakyatinzi Gyana Vajra Rinpoche, His Eminence Abhikrita Rinpoche, His Eminence Asanga Rinpoche, His Eminence Ani Rinpoche, His Eminence Ngortazake Rinpoche, His Eminence Kundeling Taksa Rinpoche, Her Eminence Dem Kushala, Her Eminence Tama Kushala, and Antaraj, and Sangha members, Venerable Sangha members, Most Venerable Geshe, Kempo, Tubus, and the President, the Chief Guest or the distinguished guest, Mr. James Maloney, Chief Guest MP Arif Virani, Chief Guest MPP Bitila Kapoche, and Chief Guest Dr. Francis Gautier, representative of government and non-government organization, as well as the representative of the Dharma centers in Canada, generous sponsors, industries, volunteers, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Tashi Delek, and very good evening to all of you, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation to be here with us in this beautiful hall to observe, to experience the gratitude dinner together of the North American Sakya Melam Foundation for World Peace. So now, without further ado, first of all, I would like to invite our Sangha members who will chant the auspicious prayer. Rinpo Matoba Toje Lebi ki Suisi ki Zerim de Kunzu Shuai, Toma Delia, Yamne Gendu Dene, Shiju Sungyu.
Jisi nanga neba nrowa jisi neji desi da neji roye dunga se wara jo donba sanje namje jashi jo jaba tangche namje jashi Jemba Gende Namji Jashi Sho Jamne Kunjo Sumji Jashi Sho Munjo Lumbo Guyin Jashi Yala Ji Sungwe Jashi Taje Jime Tuji Jashi Je Guzun Deje Jashi Sho Nimon Dele Sendele Nimi Kongyang Dele Niansen Dado Dele Kunjo Sumje Jashi Yo.
Tujina, thank you. De Jelia, Chebe Kundu Zo Namno, Yu Milam Sobe, Kutsabdan, Changri, Milam Sobe Unit Tunsabne, Pipsu Jeda, Dunje, Dende Sujadan, De Si, De Grishigu. Representative and board members of the Great Sakya World Peace Milam Foundation India and North America to offer Katak, Immaculate Scarf to the distinguished guests and dignitaries as a gesture of welcome. Thank you so much, Katinche. De Shamia, Chan Ripe Sekizamishi de Melam Kavni with Sozo Kimbo Kumashirav Lane, Pipsi Sungshe Nangu. Now I invite the president of North American Sakya Melam Foundation for World Peace, Venerable Kempo Kungashirala, to deliver a welcome speech.
Jamge Goma, teaching Doji Jimbocho, Gugin Zeming, Tuzewa Jimbo Tone, Digajang Eri, Melam Jimmy, Tuchi Sudon to Chigi Gadi Jonan Zebader, Nye, Jang Eri Bessa in Zamnishi, the Melam Jimmy, Gune, Young Subsidy, Jimbalis, someday testily Shugi. Diganashi, Jamgi Tinji Shiniba. Rana Vraja Ribicho Dang, Jamgi Tinzi Shesamba, Jana Vraja Jim Namni, Tuchi Sudin to Chigu Gadi Jonan Zabadiri, near Melam Unit, Young Subsidy, a Jimbalis someday testily Shugi. Tishin Jayan Kundu Abigla Ribicho Dang, Jayan Kundu Asanga Ribuchi, Mochin Javik of Tasikan Ribuchi, Quintili Tasa Ribuchi. Toji Shishu, Sudin to Yamshu Nawara, near Melam Gune, Young Subsidy, Jimbalus, someday testily Shugi. Xianyang, Dunse Ane Ribuchodan, Jin Chimu Tashi Hagila, Taman Hanse La, Tamachimi La, Tuchi Sudin to Yamshu Nawara, near Melam Gune, Young Subsidy, Jimbalus, someday testily Shugi. Dedan chapji diga sanes yobe chezo ka ke zazu namba da kemblo de ke she namba kindu namba jumba yong le ya jumba le se samde test de shugi Saktin to Canada Kayun Trezo ke Sumi Kuship Arif Raini Cho Dang James Molini Cho Tuji Shizu Sudun to Nyamshu Nawara Nge Mulam Gune Yung Subshu Jimbalu Samdi Testili Shugi Deshin Canada Ngati Trezo ke Sumi Jam Budula Gabaji Cho Tuji Shizu Sudun to Nyamshu Nawara Nge Mulam Gune Yung Subshu Jimbalu Samdi Testili Shugi Shenya Toronto Zula Lobjing ki Gigenchum Jam Francis Gary Chodang California Riverside Zula Lobjing ki Gigenchum Metki Namni Itoji Chichu Sudin La Nyamshu Naurang Jumbalus Samdi Testri Shugi Saktin to Pirin Chitus of Soso Kesa Pinzo like a Shunji Mayin Topa Kitu Kak in Zazu Nambala Jumbalus Samdi Testri Shugi Deshin Melam Tiri Kyabju Nankin ki Jinda Nambatan, Ninja Mangbe Nang, Kungin Semi Junkin ki Danamba Yonlaya, Jumbalis, Samti Testili Shugi. Tadin to Namasange, certain trouble you Mindu Shugi. Good evening and welcome our gala dinner. My name is Kampukunga Shirap, President of the North America Sajja Melam for World Peace Prayer. It is truly an honor to welcome such an esteemed individual into our presence this evening. In the first place, I would like to welcome our guest of honor, His Holiness Sajja Koma Teaching Rinpoche. Also, I would like to welcome our most venerated guest, His Holiness the 42nd Sajja Tenzin Rinpoche and His Holiness the 43rd Sajja Tenzin Rinpoche. In addition, I would like to welcome their eminences, Tungse Abhikada Rinpoche, Asanga Rinpoche, Kundili Taza Rinpoche, and Taziken Rinpoche. I wish to also extend a warm welcome to Tungse Anya Rinpoche, Gyeyu Chimala, Tamalhansi La, and Tamachimi La. We are also privileged to be joined by prominent representatives from different levels of government. They've all kindly taken time out of their busy schedule to be here with us tonight. Firstly, we are honored to be hosting member of the Parliament of Canada. I'm most pleased to welcome the Arif Raini, Member of the Parliament, Representative Paktel Hai Pak. I'm also pleased to welcome the Honorable James Maloney, Member of the Parliament, Representative Ethiopia Lakeshore. I'm also most pleased to welcome the Honorable Pudula Kapache, Member of Provincial Parliament, Representative Paktel Hai Pak. I'm also pleased to be welcome Professor Francis Garrett, who is Professor of Tibet Buddhist Study at University of Toronto and a longtime friend of Toronto Tibetan community. Professor Garrett has taught many Tibetan students over the year, including me. We also welcome Professor Matt King, who is a research scholar at Columbia University and Professor of Buddhist Study at University of California, Riverside. To all our distinguished guests, we express our deepest gratitude for joining us this evening despite your busy schedule. I wish now to acknowledge and welcome Kesa Pinsola, the President of Tibetan Canadian Culture Center. I also wish to welcome representatives from many Buddhist centers and organizations who are joined us this evening. Welcome also to our sponsor, whose generosity has made this entire event possible. And finally, welcome to our many volunteers who have worked tirelessly to establish the North American Memorial for World Peace. Welcome to you all, and now let us begin our gala dinner. Thank you.
Thank you, Kempala. Deshamlia, Umilam Soviet Sozo, Kwendo Abikrita Wajarim Chichone, Chepe Kunduanamla, Samdi Sunshit say Nangu. May I request His Eminence Abikrita Wajarim Pache to give opening remarks. Rinpoche.
rik thamje je dabo jingo thamje gi zo diji den ji deba chembo jamgon koma tijin do je chang chembo cho da jamgon koma tensen shinye ba chembo cho jamgon koma tensen shizun ba chembo cho nambala soju thamul jarte kujadan je en samdrengon do shuche 네 데트린데 제도 페베 콘도 넘버 ngorji cheba taze kero mo je chotan shazetin be zujin jabje kundulin mo je chotan ni gyayum chemo tan damo namba ni tuzu tumi kushap James Meloni cho tuzu tumi Arif Virani cho 대가나시 응아데기 조조투미 부리라 깔보 제초 드론조 톨로 조조 데세 로벤시모 프란시스 가르티 초 네 드린데 체드 페베기 라조 켈로 세자 메마 용라 나랑게 자제단 제베 토네 네 삼레타시들 쇼기 담면함 소비기 나랑라 갑디르 계제지 시괴기 카페든 따르 두저정보 땅 먹어 봐 계제 뉴뉴지 시야라인 베튼 쇼기 땅안한조 넘버 산제바지 이네송 미우 쪼데 탈바다 탐제집이 고방토야 돼 레디어레 어디 임비 시샤토 내가 잠린 칸서 네모 추소소 미용와탕 네 잡리 시데 용야 라소발라 미체 점건 고마 티진도 제 창천보 초당 접지 데버셔바 모르샤진 루딘 킨진도 제 창천보 초 접지 데버셔바 접지 티진도 제 창천보 초 남비기 투공 투지 공셰당 네 투지 제랍라 때네 당보 니초 루미네도 지루 지동 급저 고솜로 니지니 면함 치모드니 초와레 어디로 손에 손니 로다링 야가라다 니 바유난도 팔레사제베 하데메디 용기 고레오 면함 치모드니 지나 초나와레 인 다디 차 야가르당 바유점도 마세다 정고 고마 티지르 무제당 정고 고마 티지르 무제 남비기 투공 시샤도 눕추 야급하게 나도 양 면함침보 로다라 초신비 나네 달로 늘 트론조라 장 아래 빨데 사지기 잠린 시대 면함침보 초신바디 정고 고마 티지르 무제 우주토 아니 초대 주바 차대요래 인장고 고마 티지르 무제다 장고 고마 티진 남비기 당 kalopta lamden wo ngaranzo u saja melam choba tang ini tasane susugi melam chobi kore nane hendini chine chonang yore ini drinde ngaranzo melam chimo choya la da mi maboshi 냠슈 나송
Hello.
지당 알아서 야가라당 바유니 민망치와 아리당 캐나다스에 되지 대화진지 신감 저지래 되네 디 용야라 베츠연당 깔레 잠네 네 용겨 미나 딘데 롱바젤레 차도 지 미망소 지 레가라 대화 쳇 자다 쳇네 대화진기 신감다 가와 지 미코 맨내라 지 메로 삼사드네 참산 제용도 땡가란다 지나다 딘데 칼레 레가라 칼레드네 지 자이 뇽 메데 이니양 델레 차도 네 망보 통야도 빼나 아리 람진 카도 줄라 쇼뱅아오니 미츠 텔라 쳔부 안에 모라지 그자 라바지 모라드네 진땅 라바지 햄버거를 잔 사댕게 드네 로댕게 망보지 통야도 덴드르 여기다 나나 좀 망보지 델라 대화 쳔부 여레 인 나바도 상마에다 레가라 대화 쳔부 여레 덴데 유신도 나나 조다다 면함 쳔부 덴데 소야디 계진 나기 되진시도 찐 이니 고갑 담송신에 냠쇼 나와들랑 나랑 있니네 나바도 상마라 나줘다 이니 가위 지수 이랑 슈기 이 지당 하나 좀 면함 되야라 소바 개와 강당 강조바 얘네양 수수 집을 줘야래 로바 같세 망보 님도 줘봐 얘나 대점지 수수의장 개사 자신부지 사투기 요바들의 송여 베나 로빈이기 뭐바 전난도 말라 소바 된지시 탐지 제바 보신데 스모들의 송나요 다디 된다데 가르세기로서나 베나 미주이 냠슈기 미직 세바이나 미주보 레레라 미레 시비기 디바드네지 중교레 송여 호텔 나신 하나도 개바지 싸와야네요. 나머지 사마 냠도 냠쉬고네 개바 주바이나 미르제 정말 고마 티지를 무시했다. 네 정말 고마 텐세 넘버 우슈토 하나도 단다 면함 니 숨기진라 딘지기 게자 사토야디 수수 미지찌나라 오네 두투바 카보레 쟁게요 제산 따당 아란스다 면란치무 초비카블라타 사모주비 면함지 제보 딘지 된지 딘지기 게세 툴라 때네 다 도와주기 심지 탐지기 동아 세야당 이니 상지기 템바 초도 내가 건도 다신 제야당 상지 그때 봐 다시 제발치 투 딘지기 지고 담바남 이니 꾸지 샤베 땡고야 이마 인도 잠링이 시도 대변 첨보 진노 공사점근 예외 뭐 탐지시진 스바 첨보 초당 이 첨보 공부 티지름지 주 리수 마치비 딘지기 진신 남지 까신 중고야디 아주 로마송원에 미스비 캐치부지 차대를 쟁기요 가인스나 코나마조 꾸치 유름보 슈 마주스야데 쪼데 나나조 로마스라라레데요 나나조 로마소기 소남다 게자 룸 마주 코나마조 칼로 람든 나샤바다 담지 까신 룸 마루 덴데라라레데 유바 인도 남준도 코나마조 까신 룸네 네 꾸치 유름보 템비기 체도 소아멜라 양양도 답고야데 캐치모지 차데요 데 다다라지 차샤바이나 그런서 드네 로마스 라메쿠지 템비기 체도 다레 장아리 사자면은 초바담 이니 강전 최대니 냠제기 고대wo 메남 친구 갑딜라 드라마 감옥이 텐슈라 샤세팀베 조제 잡지 군들리는 뭐지 도질로베 나베 토 이네 텐슈 sabje시 푸주 중앙데 나나서 로마츠기 소사비기 고갑다 라메 끝에 템비기 치두고 템비기 줄주에 녀제레데요 어제자 rumbachetam ni kore nangge nyamshun nangge tsangmalo la ning tapani karin che shugin oche zanda mimang sola gewa jachimbu dubyagi koga sambu tuyagi che tu ta ngarang su milang sobe ngone kale tsime jadan jashimba tela ya ngarangi gawi jesu iranda karin che shugin En tale mixe da dega sani menan subi juli ningba tezu ni tunyo lo simgirin la ni chale naje tade lo sum changje ni juli sabanam lingi junjun na ya rede du jeza ni u saja menan subi chapje ni juli ningba tsu 하섬 담아 까불 안에 이니 차례 후단보다 나와 때네 랭겐 레줍 중앙텔라 나주단 까린 체 슈긴 이니 줄린 서바 남라야 다 참제 따시들 쉬야다 레든 탐제 레줍 용어요 면된 슈긴 이 심바 뭐 시험에서 한번씩 쉬었으면도 다된도 제외된 바를 뭐지 다시 제바당 잠니 유군도 다시 네모 추수소 미르베징의 탐제 시네 겐생이 지진 가능수조 탐제당 체바르도 진원 고소장고 뭐 초당 현장고 고마 티지름치 정고 고마 천sen 넘버 다자 두잔 남기 체도 꾸수 유런도 땜바당 제바틀린 주 미체바 정로 나신다 셰소와 푸수스 대바당 아니 민든 슈기 도지체
Thank you so much, Rinpoche Abhikirta Vajra Rinpoche. Rinpoche actually serves as the chairman or the president of the Great Sakya Melam for World Peace and Harmony, based in India. So it's a center. So I forgot to mention this earlier. Thank you once again, Rinpoche, for a very thought-provoking and productive speech. Mentioned about how important the collective prayers it benefits for the world peace, as well as particularly the collective prayer will become beneficial, is meritorious for the long life of our Dharma masters, His Holiness Dalai Lama, Vajradhara, Sakyapuma Teacher Rinpoche, and all the Dharma masters. So Rinpoche mentioned it quite beautifully and very meaningful. Thank you so much. Dejelia Sani Pegishe Mataje Lamusone Chudu. Next, I would like to call upon the stage the well-known artist, Tibetan artist, Lamunso, will present an offering song. Lamunso, please.
Oh
Lamusolia Tujiche Shui, Ngenjep Tembalui Chivapu de Tujichin Shui. Thank you so much, Lamashe, for a very melodious offering song. So next, so I'd like to call up on the stage Chief Guest, MP Mr. James Melanie to give a brief speech. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. It is truly an honor to be here, as always. Tasha Delay. That better? Okay. Your Holiness Sakya Ganga Chichen, His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin, and His Holiness the 43rd Sakya Trizin, Your Eminences Dungse and Rinpoches and honored guests, it really is a true honor for me to be here this evening to welcome you to Toronto. I'm the Member of Parliament for Etobicoke Lakeshore, where we are here tonight. I'm here joined by my colleague and friend Arif Farani, who represents Parkdale High Park of the riding next door. And I have to say this, I always say it, Arif and I have a competition about the Tibetan community. Who has the stronger Tibetan community? I know I do, he knows he does. The truth is we both do, and we're very proud of it, and that's why we do what we do. Now, it is a privilege to be here for the 6th North American Sakya Manlam for World Peace. I would like to say it's a great decision that you made to come and visit. I know it's not your first visit to Toronto. You told us over dinner or earlier that you first arrived in Toronto for the first time in 1974, which coincidentally is around the first time I arrived in Toronto. But it's great that you were able to be here for Canada Day. We're celebrating our 156th birthday, which must seem very young, of course, in comparison to Tibetan culture. But Canadians are good people. We care about each other, and whether it's defending democracy, protecting the environment, or walking the road of reconciliation, or ensuring that everyone can succeed, no challenge is too great, and we face it together, very much in common with the tenets of the Buddhist faith. Canada and Tibet share similar values of compassion and hope, and it's no coincidence that the Tibetan Buddhism has been growing in popularity here in Canada. As a Member of Parliament, every chance I get, I raise awareness of the enormous contributions of the Tibetan community that they've made and continue to make in Canada. In the 1970s and the 1980s, Canada opened its door to Tibetan refugees, offering them a chance to rebuild their lives. They were trailblazers. Many of the Tibetan refugees were the first non-European refugees to arrive in Canada and permanently resettled in this country through a government-sponsored program. Now, the vitality of the community, which is deeply rooted in the values of peace, community, and caring for others, greatly enriches our lives every day to this day. It is Canada who gained with your arrival, and we're stronger because of it. It's a special privilege to have this centre here in my constituency, and I'd like to thank the centre for everything it gives to Etobicoke Lakeshore and to the City of Toronto. And in particular, I would like to thank our current President, Khalsang Phuntsok, for all of you do and your leadership. Thank you, sir. And I must mention some of your predecessors, because Your Holiness, you said the last time you were here was prior to 2010. This place didn't exist in this fashion in 2010, as you know, and it's taken a lot of hard work by a lot of people and a lot of leaders. I see my friend Sonam Lankar over there. He was the president of this center when I took office with the Reef in 2015, and it's through his hard work and everybody since then and all the community who's done so much tremendous work, and we're able to sit here in this beautiful facility now. So as I learn more about the different elements of your faith, the more I appreciate the immense contribution you make to our society. We live in difficult times. As threats to peace abound in all corners of the world, we must not lose hope. I hope the last few days have been meaningful for you and for everyone that is here as part of your journey. I'm moved by the dedication to the community, spirituality, simplicity, and humility and honesty. Those virtues are so important to our world. Congratulations on your visit. congratulations on this 6th North American Sakya Mandalam for World Peace, and I wish everybody in this room peace and happiness, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, MP James Melanie, for a wonderful speech. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. MP Arif Virani to deliver a speech. Arif Virani, please. Thank you.
Tujichena, Tashile Kusudebu Min. I'm speaking a bit of Tibetan because His Holiness challenged me. He said, "How much Tibetan have you learned?" So I had to throw in a few other phrases. I learned some phrases on the campaign trail, but I'm not seeking any votes tonight, Your Holiness. So I'll keep those phrases for another day. But I wanted to say thank you so much, and Tujichena, for having me here tonight with my colleague James, with my local fellow elected representative Butila. It's really a special occasion, and it's special to learn about the Sakya sect from His Holiness and understand the significance of all of the incredible work that is being done by the Sakya sect, not just with the Mulam that we are celebrating now, but generally. I wanted to pick up on a few things that James had mentioned. First of all, yes, we do share a love of Tibetans. We do share incredible constituents. But Your Holiness, I must convince you, if you're going to eat momos, you must eat them in my riding, not in Etobicoke, because they're much better in Parkdale High Park. But I also know, all kidding aside, that while this is the 6th occasion of the Mulam of this kind, but this is the first time the event is being held in Canada, which I think is very, very appropriate. And I'll say to you, sir, and to all of the gathered Rinpoches that are here, thank you for being here. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Know that in James and I and Butila and so many other representatives, you have people that are eager to learn more about Tibet and the Tibetan cause and the Tibetan struggle, to understand how Buddhism plays a role in that struggle, but also to advocate for the Tibetan cause. That is really, really fundamental. And I wanted to say a couple of things, because when we talk about the work of you, Your Holiness, and the work of the teachings of the Buddha, it really informs the work that we are trying to do as elected representatives. And I want to give you a couple of examples, sir. Just this year, we had a gathering of almost 18 to 20 different members of parliament from many different parties. And that's a big achievement, because we like to fight a lot in Canada's capital and have some battles over political policies. And that's good and appropriate sometimes. But on the issue of Tibet, it is important to be unified. And we had a gathering of almost 20 different members of parliament talking about the issue about the Chinese residential boarding schools, when they're taking Tibetan children from their homes far away and placing them and forcing them to learn Mandarin only, depriving them of their ability to continue to speak Tibetan, depriving them of their Buddhist teachings, and depriving them of their ability to practice their culture. And people were so moved by what they heard and so angered by what they heard, we decided to do a formal study at the International Human Rights Committee about this very issue. And just before Parliament adjourned for the summer, Your Holiness, I can report back to you that we actually published the study and tabled that study with about 18 different recommendations that are very strong, demonstrating that Canada's Parliament is very keen and motivated towards the cause of protecting Tibetan human rights, the Tibetan language, Tibetan culture, and the ability to practice Buddhism within the People's Republic of China. And that's a significant step forward. So Tujiche, thank you. The other thing I will point out to you, sir, and I was mentioning this to you over dinner, is that we have had a long-standing tradition of having Tibetan young people coming and working in Ottawa with different members of parliament, again from different parties. This is the Parliamentary Friends of Tibet internship program. And there are some graduates of that program in this room right now. There are people that have elevated to such positions as the head of the Canada Tibet Committee, a young woman who's become an incredible leader who ran for public office at the municipal level in Toronto, in the same area that I represent, and so many other examples. And we just had a recent group of 6 more young people, including Dylan Lunker. So Sonam Lunker's son was among the group. He's a little bit taller than his dad, so he's eating a lot more, drinking a lot more milk and eating a lot more good momos in Parkdale. But it was wonderful to have Dylan Lunker there among the students. But what these students do is, as I was saying to you, Your Holiness, is that they learn from us, definitely, about Canadian government, but also we learn from them. Every year, James, myself, all of the MPs, we take teachings from these young people about how we can further the cause of the Tibetan struggle. And for that, I say very sincerely, Tuji Chena, because it is very, very important. And on a lighter note, I wanted to build on something James had said. We talked about July 1st and Canada Day and celebrating all that is Canada. And just 2 or 3 days ago, I guess it's Monday, 2 days ago, we had a Canada Day picnic in my community in Parkdale High Park. And we started the day with a citizenship ceremony, and Butilla was there also. And we had people becoming citizens for the first time. It was very emotional, very beautiful. But then we had a picnic afterwards. And at the picnic, I want you all to know that, when we see these amazing singers and entertainers here, James and I take notes. Because the last time I was in this hall, a young girl, I think she's about 9, her name is Tenzin Dengsa La. I'll call her La because she's a terrific singer. She was singing here on stage. Well, I'd made note of her and her name, and we actually recruited her, and she sang the national anthem at the picnic that I hosted in High Park. And she did a wonderful, wonderful job. So one small step at a time, one singer at a time. We also served momos at the picnic, one bit of cuisine at a time. We are spreading the cause of the Tibetan community, Tibetan culture, Tibetan cuisine, and Tibetan talent. And I think that is important as advocates for the community, and it is very humbling for me to be able to do that as a 3-time MP in Parkdale High Park. So Your Holiness, welcome to Toronto. For the, it's not your first visit, but thank you for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for the Mulam and the teachings that you're doing. Tuji Chena, and we wish you Godspeed when you go to Switzerland, and we hope to see you back in Toronto again soon. Thank you. Tuji Chena.
Thank you so much, Tujiche Arifla, for a very motivating speech. So now I would like to call upon the stage a Tibetan young artist Tenzin Kusil to perform an offering song. Tenzin Kusil la ne tanda chulu chipu nanju. Thank you, Tenzi Guzala. Very melodious. Thank you so much. Very soothing and moving. Thank you. Now, Shuai. Deshamlia, MPP Putila Kabuchelia, during the Sunshi, Karunache Pugishuai. Next, I'd like to call upon MPP Putila Kabuchla. Thank you.
His Holiness Vajradhara Kyabgyo Sanget Gongma Tiji Rinpoche, His Holiness the 42nd Sakya-Trizin Ratna Vajra Rinpoche, His Holiness the 43rd Sakya-Trizin Vajra Gyana Rinpoche, Their Eminences Kong Dungse Rinpoche, Ngor Tartse Khen Rinpoche, Dharma Masters of the Schools of the Sakya Tradition, Venerable Sangha members, Khenpos, Tugus, and practitioners from around the world. A very good evening and tashi dele. As the Member of Provincial Parliament for Parkdale High Park, Chair of the Ontario Parliamentary Friends of Tibet, and Deputy Speaker of the Ontario Parliament, it is my distinct honor to offer my greetings and my sincere gratitude for accepting the invitation and gracing us with your visit to Toronto for the first ever Sakya Milam for World Peace and Harmony in Canada. The 3-day Milam, a historic event, has allowed thousands of devotees the opportunity to receive teachings, initiation, and Dharma instructions. We are incredibly fortunate to be living in the times of great lamas, and so blessed to receive teachings, even simply to be in the presence of greatness. The Sakya tradition was developed by the Kong dynasty in the 11th century, and Kong lamas were not only spiritual masters in Tibet, but also spiritual masters of the 13th century Mongol Empire. And I know that His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama has also expressed great respect and love for His Holiness the Grand Sakya-Trizin. Now, with the Milam's conclusion, it is on all of us to keep the teachings of the great masters in our minds and hearts, and through actions, live our lives in a way that promote peace and harmony. I think it is auspicious that the Milam has also happened in July as we mark Tibetan Heritage Month in Ontario. It is fitting, as the Tibetan Heritage Month is about recognizing and celebrating Tibetan culture, traditions, and contributions to the world. And the Sakya tradition is a key part of that. Finally, I want to acknowledge and thank the work of the North America Sakya Milam for World Peace Foundation, the many volunteers and sponsors who have made this event possible. Kyabgyo Sakya Gongmatirje Rinpoche Tsowe Rinpoche Lache Khanam Tsangmala Ning Thakpane Chashitele Shugi Lama Samgi Mikyapa De Chibyu Nangwadi Ngatsu Tsangma Sonam Chimbure Canada la Sakya Milam Teng Thangbu Tsowadi Ngatsu Tsangma la Kewa Sangpo Chungware Milam Di Tubne Kewa Sangpo Chungwadi Ngatsu Tsangma Gabuchung Rinpoche Namki Kalop Kare Nangwadi Semla Shani Ani Nyere Lagle Kiadi Chesho Chagiyore Ani Tamadi Chang Ari Sakya Milam Tsokpa Tangla Nangye Tang Jindan Nangye Tsangmala Tujushe Shugi Tujunang.
Thank you so much, Putila Kabuche, for a very inspiring speech. Thank you so much. So next, it's me. It's my turn. Dijelia Anyegi Chik tanda chulu chi tos pyai tsawe di ko ngote tos shwe na ngazo melam ko so be kap liya ngazo yule ngwe ne thudu chwe che kyam ge ko ma thi to chang chum cho liya twe lu chi gi samya gi ngazo nyam bo liya ji thudu ru chung re tene ngazo shezi sam telia tang ji so the music di royan di phyulia ani teacher ta thama the music di mastering sama cha cha re thama di group sa re ta di kyo music video liya nge liya yong ya nge cha di ore o di ji ta ta ringi ngazo melam di ta juk di ru ge di zane nge di ya ji kinle yong ge sab shu de kyam yong ma chi to chang chum cho le ku ze shabe te ya ta thu ki she gong ling ge be ta an chi gi mo thu ne ngazo liya ji mano lam sa Turn on singing and came to show at the Piguita and Trentiki, Lucia the Puchochi, and the original Dosam Shugi. This song I'm going to perform a song Pende Sakakoma. So this song actually we composed this song, we write this song, the second board members when we were selected. So we wrote lyrics and then we composed. So we wrote the music for that. So I'm going to translate the song, the lyrics in English. It's a rough translation. I did it today really fast. Emaho ngotsarche, how wonderful the emanation of Bodhisattva, his honors Pende Sakyakoma, for the Buddha's teaching and to guide the sentient beings. You were born in Sedong, Tibet, with numerous auspicious signs. How wondrous Pende Sakyakoma. From the very day of degenerated time, you stood beside the manifestation of our Lokiteshvara or Buddha of compassion, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, preserve and spread the teachings of Lord Buddha. We are very grateful and thankful to you, Pende Sakyakoma. According to the natural interests of sentient beings, the Dharma centers, monasteries, and temples were built, brought historic change in the lineage throne holder, our root guru, Vajradhara, Pende Sakyakoma. May you please live long with us. Thank you. Shamla shuke mima namba da tangla phan namba shu nyambo ta yin da nyambo le ya cha shu shi sta na shu nyambo le da Imma ho 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 ngo char che Imma ho ho ngo char che inda Shamla shuge mimana ba inda Beke sakya tongyu kebe go ten to wa chule kebe che ten de sam se don yu le thong ben de sakya ko ma ngo char che ni du nya tha ka wi ni mo le pha cho chana bi me cha ye la law sum ten be gyun sin thar be na ben de sakya ko ma ka tin che Beke sakya tongyu kebe Etang doa chula kepeche Pende samo zedon yula tu Pende sakya koma ngotsar che Ni tu nya tha ka we ni mo ne pha cho chana pe me chaye la love sum tembe kunzi tar pe na Pende sakya koma katiche Inda Pende sakya koma katiche 做了看，如果咱们东有天天说，有家看到对不事儿所在，其实那么不在รับ点说，其实那么不在รับ点说。难得日北去的做了看。可可参北东雨天津秋，对家看到对北事所在，七岁喇嘛古在入得修。七岁喇嘛古在入得修，七岁喇嘛古在入得修。谢谢 ，Thank you， 感谢。
都前那样，我当他的秋季学的，参加了呀，都在学语，我就当他的写的那罗松西这个我里呀，学不得的人，因为呀，各地对个呀，都因年节这里呀，那我就的这个西部学的重要嘛的，所以他们的西部学重不得了呀，我呢告诉了，说那么3个月，的这学因，你的那可能呀，都在学的。当他的秋季这个里呀，当他告诉了纽约呢，全部变不完的了里呀，当他的恰大这个培育这种情况，就当他的本来处理呀，囊松。的将军撒家公们提前任务去给这个你撒家公们盛大事情，都是也必须去说从这的。的呢，柬埔寨呢，缅甸开始的，他的地级当了下，一定级当了下，从这定义他的主张需求不是属于，他们开始什么都过上面。我就平民制作过那那个上辈先员当，定对个先员你个也不行，马中他们因为对的平民国家将军也为王部他们这。现在生活全部超给南端各路家族大部来，所需军事适当，唐都领域内新都内江，给全部适应。但这推个不得的，将军公们提前任务在超呢，培育妇女女性确实长龙，用完了，切都明呢，撒家公们省大些，无助需要。但这后面省大的。铁定将阿的白色节咱们是的门lâm给的将军公嘛，提前超给估计下边等边定数前面对着新都改变年的公嘛提前任务这个故我们呢能就谢谢托巴了，个定拉拉都切，撒家公们省大的培育妇女上学，那么就一个台普都从普都。全部啦，能有盛大吸引，这样这点落这个公司多呗，先员党拉把的培育给予，缺的人兄，팀장党可有강대个先员点呗，上学那么就一个普通中呗，那学了能有盛大吸引，这点个盛大的改善所见的阿的家属把这样村镇苏巴党。马drama参观人个父母，现在drama苏巴因，罗那就算呗，父母现在drama苏巴尼，其他个先用一个台了，都能全部有，其他的都真正个那个另外个工作上不当，대신给予现在安置所给先用现在那样，强不这全部适当。낭달도 파마를 구지당 참제 라보라 산지기 철라 시루샤베 나랍기 상부 쩨바당 벽이 끼이소
강태라 돈일 제겐식 레 된다 원발라 다긴 조우니 진노 공사 겸군 친구 우디당 람든 현양 겸군 고마 티진 루무지기 우주 범위 라진 남바당 우디 남베 거딘 락버의 춘den기 밤에 잠재당 소주 냐지레 중화시기 인도 현재 로마 수발라 दूसरे शायद Pomukura tanda chada shia sawa imba sonzalia namazu samalia tuche na shueda in cha chim tabro na shumi. Thank you so much.
Okay, next, I'd like to invite Chief Guest Dr. Francis Garte, Professor of the Religious Department of University of Toronto, to give a speech. Thank you.
Distinguished guests and esteemed dignitaries, members of the Sangha, it's with great pleasure and honor that I welcome our distinguished guests, His Holiness Sakya Gongma Trichen, His Holiness the 42nd Sakya Trichen, His Holiness the 43rd Sakya Trichen, together with a retinue of distinguished dignitaries and Sangha members. On behalf of the University of Toronto, I'm here to say how privileged we are to have you grace us with your presence. The University of Toronto has been collaborating with Tibetan communities around the world and supporting research and study of Tibetan cultures, literatures, and languages for 2 decades. The university has the largest group of researchers on Buddhism in Canada, and our library has the largest collection of Tibetan language books in Canada. I say this to really emphasize how important the Tibetan community is for the University of Toronto and for all of us across Canada. In this auspicious moment of the North American Sakya Munlam for World Peace in Toronto, we are reminded of the boundless potential that lies within our collective wisdom and global experiences. To our esteemed dignitaries and Sangha members, we're so grateful for your efforts to bridge divides and promote peace, understanding, health, and prosperity among peoples, nations, and multi-species ecosystems. May this gathering inspire us all to work together toward a better future for all. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much, Francis Garte, for a wonderful speech. Thank you. Tatene nga zo shela suzi jami ki tuzeti to ke de shela ki tuzeti. Now we'll take a dinner time, dinner break.
DJ Lia ini jamgu koma tijin chole ya ani kalau kati jana na seti ya begu shuye.
So before we take dinner break, may I request His Holiness Vajradhara Sakya Koma Teacher Rinpoche to deliver a speech. Thank you. Rinpoche, please.
당근에서는가야 친지 야게 진리진중 얘기 가는마 슈과를 두두디 이내가다 강바다 개받은 때문에 근데 인도자네 대대네 마시 담에 차서 대지 체험체에 서로 야부들 민도들 맞아 담에 내를 주도서 간다다 드는데 페베 라제 넘버에 긴둥이 대소래 에네 캐나다 믹세기 꾼르 캐나다 트조기 인티미 남서래 에네 샤지 꾼르 남서래 진다카레 레제버조레 창물로래야 쉬야라 다른 안주디 장아리 멜람 주니 디린다 가등기 독수소드 사게 남벌야 인스라 가부중 인상물로래 도지시신 주어도 첩지도 애니 참지 다 뜻이 되려 주어이 나치게를 당부 용사대 당부 용사대 장아리 난 총계 당부 디캬나 디 트론드이 다테메 지베 있나 로망부 신사를 인 대제라야 차르망부대 용바이 디 용린 심베 간다 진미적이 샘기 초월에 시가를 간지터네 야게 라버트 최저부터네 에니아게 심부 도스 두고요 동주들의 중 대인들이라 가부 중은 다른 가란조다 장아리 멸람탕 주바 캐나다 남초고 탕 당보리 두스제니 주주 중바된 가라인의 시라 가부 중 엔다다 가란조 멸람기 존재 캠부군가라 고구 우티베오네 레제버조레 상매매 후전난제 멸람 인순부디 시라기 자티보다 무슨 서고 야부시라 총선들의 임대자 믹세기 강가로야 도지시신需要인 인다데 뒤로다 가서 내신 교회 전불린디 나라 가르쇼래 지금 멍조래 내암래 지 중심 너발에 강지터네 다 로셰그는 라페마시바 갱엔데 망보 체세 지강한 신부예비 두겁지 레도 디갑리야다 가란주 밀로와 군조 숨기 도지 구야데 뱀마시베 미케심 차데 요레 데이드즈 나가란주 메람데 다 지지된 켜 용수 적발라 난게 가르접지 심전 탐제 동안에 잡아다 대화를 거야 된제기 인데 전주기 셈기 그런 캐러 터네 인 토마다 야가다 바율을 추제다 로망고 침벌에 인다다 지게를 추제 장아리를 추제다 다른 뜻사 주고차 샤기여를 도체도 가려야다 가서 미유로디 시부지 개침보다 자침보다 에네 드르지 때도여 진짜 대인도 다 개체한테 가르치는 멸람 니마숨 제수주신 차가 찍고 지기야말에 아주 남샤 균도네 내니 심규 상부치야다 시야라 편도치야다 참바다 제 균네 랑데 내니 지가쇼레 심제야 편도 제도야 심제 로미 첨배 간다 심제도 도저 참말로게 팬들 주비하고 삼바자야 백해심벌에 대상주도 가인스나 대인이 제베이나 소소랑을 이나 디기기 자 되는 수구여마도 신경을 야지 가서 심베이나 대기 난심기 디기 엄마데 전투기 매버데 사바시라레자 신경을 직장배 야지 토는 디기 연구연다 야지 심베 룽바드 나려야 기부 시부지 연구야 지월데 티 민두가티 매워서 하고고를 왔는데 인도자네 뭐네 자네 디지 민둥 수지요 말에 저게 랭엔즈 이내자 밀랭켄즈 이내자 미 이내자 든루 이내자 간다 심전도 또서 참말로 동해 민둥이 지다 digi dunge shata yimbare. Tende yindu zane, ene tanga digi joya ya, chida melam jayate pe keshimbo redi, ina tele keshiyate, yundu ne ngazu simju sangbu chiya kwayata, semba sangbu chebe tone, ene kanshore, jigi cha sangbu, 좀 현재 팬들 주위하고 삼바 케버이나 딜레 근데 랑기 디지 자와 되는 수도 그래 될라 때네 근데 현재이나 팬도 자신 점린 시디스야데 진짜 전에 연구고 얼마도 점린 시디 요야라 자 손도 차고 찍고다 지 점점 제가 찍고도 melom 잡 찍고 용도야 지라 요 말저 대인들 전에 melom 자야 띵 아주 개시슈지지 되네 고주가 찍이다 남샤 윤도 니샤 추지기 줄람게 나라 에메 가쇼레 심규 상부치하다 엔데 가소르베 샤라 팬드 주비아 디 개첨부 시부지도 스사드레 인드잔 데데 인 참말로 툴을 잡아 터네 엔 멀람기 디 가소르다 겐스네미도 사변스네미도 데네 답제 teneya mutu ne nisha truji na kanda nyiri choya na nga zu samalo to si ko ya de pe ke se bo si ra ri sha de de yin de same to le ja na ro na shuya da ni shen da ja shi mo ma bo sun shen da nga ma bo do de le de ja ne ja shi mo ma bo shuya min du kanda kene de shun da mi ma ngwen da chan ne ge zambul yong zo da 이 미리 ma bo ji le ya 팬도 자신부 중요를 하버도야 별이 절려야 다데 미편 전부 레제 도시 여백갑려야 감지토네 거진 전부 장여버들이야 내 고급디규네 닝타번네 거진 세신 수고요 이 다들 민주주의를 팬디 중에 자와 담바를 붙이 쇼도 내가 탐지 또 다시 게라 유령도 내봐다 엔 덴진 용지 주견 진노 콘스 장군 자와 원부초 우리 슈베 덴진 이지부 탐바 탐제 우지샤베 자와 쳐다예베 뭐 덴진 랍제 투지 셰든 타다 베멜hun유튜브다 엔 나란 조자 가서 지제 용기베 미유 릉벌메다버 줌네 지제 냠종기 꺄산려야 롱스 유튜브 용야게 메람 슈고요 투지세 the High Lamas, the Honorable Sangha members, and special chief guest, Mr. Ari Veroni and Mr. James Maloney, and Putila Kapuche. In fact, she is actually from the same town in Tibet, from Tibet. She is also from Sakya. And so, and also our sponsors and staff and everyone who have gathered here. It is a great joy for me to attend this dinner. We are all gathering here together with a great joy and happiness. And so I would like to thank everybody and extend my very warm greetings and warm wishes and Teshitele. When I first time came to the West, and especially in North America, the first town that I visited was Toronto. I came from England in 1974, and at that time there were very few Tibetans. First Tibetan group actually started coming here in 72, is the first time. But so at that time there were very few Tibetans, and I myself have stayed in one of the Tibetan families' home in Toronto. And at that time we have a lot of time, so I have managed to see the city of Toronto, and nearby the Niagara Falls also I visited. And since then I've been here many times, And every time I came here, not only the outside development, but people have grown up their spiritual status, and that more and more people have practicing the loving kindness, compassion, and tolerance, and forgiveness, and so all the things getting. And so this time that we are able to start the Sakya Melam here in Toronto, it is a great pleasure and a great joy for me. And it's very important because the world we live today have facing a lot of problems, the wars, pandemics, and disasters, natural disasters, all kinds of problems, one after another. So at that time, it is very important to seek the guidance and blessings of the Buddha Dharma Sangha. And so therefore we have gathered here for the last 3 days, and all the staff and sponsors and everyone worked together, and it's been very successful. So many people have attended, and so it's been very successful. So it's very good. But more important thing is that not only the 3 days of prayer, but in our daily life, since the now prayer Melam gathering was held here as a seed, and since then that we should have our virtue qualities like loving kindness, compassion, tolerance, etc. And in this way we could start the world peace. World peace is not outside. World peace is within our own mind. First, we have to start the world peace within our own mind, and then gradually expand within our families, within our neighbors, within our cities where we live, and eventually to the whole world, which is very much needed. Today's world needs the peace. And so for that we can contribute by having the gathering of Melam here. So I hope this Melam will be able to accomplish that so many people will be able to benefit from this gathering, and so that world peace will be able to establish throughout the world. Canada has been a great country, helping many people, many different races, many people, many different religions, many different ethnic groups are here together, living in peacefully and harmoniously. It's a great, and especially the Tibetans come here, and the Canadian government, the state government, federal government, and state government, and the people of Canada have been so kind and so loving to the Tibetans. So I take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude to the government and the people of Canada. So now I don't say much. I just wanted to conclude that may the Buddha's teaching will spread the world, and may His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Supreme Spiritual and Temporal Head of Tibet, live long and fulfill his wishes, and may all of our own wishes will be able to fulfill, and so that we will be able to go back to our own country and live together peacefully and harmoniously. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Holiness, for a motivating, very touching and inspiring speech. Now we're going to start our dinner break time. Kunde nambaliya tanda daily shall Susie Chamit to Kodishu and the Shimbagan Chinda number the Talamba number the Shamia Sangama Shilon wall Shamia the Tadishu this Rimbas Perona Shuai to Jenna. Tene can doing this namely Nepal Shamia Tadi needs to Jenna. We'll do offering first. Shepach Sungu Narona.
Le. Sanje yende samme jan, juje yende samme, pabi gende samme, samme chavla teje, namba memba samme, nanda shinla jeva sho, tomba lame sanje rembo, jeva lame tangje rembo. Lame gende rinpoche jane kunjo sum chebambu.
도전한 witnessing the daily feeding habits of office goers, sharing
There's a simpler way to get insurance. Get home and auto insurance online with Aviva Direct. Get insured with a click. Get a quote online today with Aviva Direct Insurance.
Hello. Then I'm going to get into the condition number. I'm going to tell tene nganzo tanda suzi kip jegi nganzo zerin de gozu xuan yi.
It's everything you wish for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing until
Pirona xuan yi. So when you start our next session, the dinner, the session after dinner, so I'm gonna call upon the stage the Lamotso. Lamotso will present an offering song again. Thank you.
사기 담으셔베 kopso 탑단 쳬버시다 요리 다네 심베 원겐 쳬버시버 요리 딘데 인지 sama 긴심버 척 탑단 마인바 원겐 슉침버 시버시에서 당한주 차기 디표네 마오바 간주 사기 담은나기장 김침은 나신기 사기 템벌리아 학삼다 차 샤워 중디 나의 난길이야 디페데는 나로 나셔시 꾸마다 선도 유행의 체도 다 배전 삼기 김침을 비히셔버이 아니 다든도 개인주무처 고주의 셰베 계약된다 투기시든 단제 개미 현주주의 면남듯이 자시들이
tene nganzo kem chimchogi kutse zenam lo gyu nganzo dos kodi shuyure tingeng gi gyune ti tanda nganzo sebi shuyai
Gelium 这是了给错的，在那宁度。确实，看日木有一个位，普及别运转的，全个送约不来，多对米缺个啥一体哩，但是技术上为有，这个差位缺个人均的，该一两部中国送去约别难呢，好处上呢，中国切这因，Gelium 这是了给错呢，要怎么样生个汤？ 用当区我们一个项目特中途，揭露这多国家我中安尼罗古冲，给了用节目古那冲突呢，人心一落，缺了个性，土具讲吧，给了了个性，年穷了强子切我说，他别绝不当点不适应，kim地米肉点不南讲，他别缺了个性，人心长性，人多切我，这个拉的米的用了，四处拉上切我说。 年别差别在吧，下大军。其路这多国家，我就眼个怎么了？哈里龙电信，或者上个农民车上，预做数内些了配。托马哈萨堂，店内上面所配备个数，咱们现在全个老队超当天家的男性，各路所家数位给了瓦头。店内老年卡堂，老炸鱼，电视节目半点啥家的内些了配。 chỉ lúc trước đó cũng nhớ chung áp rồi, thì dù cái quan kỳ, trên trong số yêu dùng năng mi ta chế và liên tục phép, trên trong số số riêng, when trên phi lốp trả phép này, chỉ năng cái cố yêu sen sĩ thế, thế này cả hai lỗ chỗ, bọn đi chơi phép này, chỉ năng cái cố yêu sen sĩ năng, chỉ lúc trước đó cũng nhớ thu chú rệp điên rồi, nên chỗ vào ra sir, cam cố cũng mà thi chiến tổ chức trang chiến bự, làm thế số xe sung chủ thô ma chế cấp. yêu dùng đã liên gia suy đề, cả chuyện cha sang suy. Chỉ lúc trước đó cũng đã tuyên truyền xí lor, công trạng nhiều nhị cấp, hà lệ công bố xin, bé sai cái chuẩn mực phổ trang kỳ đảng một phép. Phổ trang tu đảng một sản phép chỉ,千sản phẩm sửa sửa yếu yang, cái dùng cho cái千này, giảm yang kiến chế tổ chức trang chuyện cái lỗ chuyện cho này, giải quyết sự kỳ bé dùng tiền là tiền này,千sản sửa mỹ quy bản năng. Kiam Gui Goma, teaching Dojang Champion Shilanga Yang, Gilium Chok, Tira Mangbune, Delwa Yubashi Yimbatang, Sanyum to Shebane, German Potangi, Chinang Tamjela, Jashiba Chungshi, Sing Du Zeyu. Dangmur Pemne, Besaki, Mungishi Sunam, Kiam Gui Goma, teaching Dojang Sumu, Dangmo, Gunji Gundune, Zhang Zunang. Tene Lamji Lo Shetang, Besaki, Serju Jusum La Sobe. 网络名案nam，牛马先些在游堂，提醒一旦所说年长当，年日头当，小段场面在游村边，白沙个当面能够他打最新度查些在。其路这当国家短期短些，大瓦主这边才几个人，人送南去，昆东热那我这人不起，过当呢，白沙个给利用前面才那个这边大给些。 chỉ lúc chết đó cũng vậy, tuyên truyền của, đào ang ở bên chết trâu nhìn, riêng nằm chú, chết cho sum tiền, đông sẽ nhà nào watch ra riêng bất chỉ chung. 동세 니더 남니 사된 제베 겐두 점버 제베 강진 험이 탐지 이 대회 옥용월제 개발투 길륨초 지지 레드 강라양 시경 링웨토 랭기기 투심 상베 수레양 퀸심 미나와탕 덴바지당 제자기 계자 지림 더뷰테 믹셀기 동부 체와탕 공사초기 죄배 리미 계진 칼라 대규 신도 서징 믹세 반대 사제베 딘시라 투기 젠다 제월송 겸규 옆세 남베 지탕 제자기 덴드 제겐 타다라 차르와 주디기 구지시불 셔도 니민 제베 거티니 삼주레 대바시긴 대신 포자 넘니발 덤지 미냠 균교 낭네 미미 랑기 덴베 미긴도 규르와탕 포자니기 동세 제슈 탐제라 푸직베 마다르 투제신 덴당 미리라 하섬 가르와 베사게 러주용라 투제와 쳔베 랑도르 깔롭 람드소 나와탕 제자와 겐슈 창마르 투제와 쳔베 시경탕 참용 제베 거티니 레레신들 정탑 갈라유 또르나 길륨 리부치 구상숨기 괴데 죄기 밀라워 유양 지딘 튜무웨 낭웨 왕도 체나양 질 상기기 덴바탕 하바르 베 제와 쳔베 링루라 길륨 강니니 구진 신도 쳔부 이바 험이 탐지기 무숨기 율도 규르와 마세 이랑 아주 야체 수위수 규르와니 매 칼라고 겁tir 랑지멜람 소바 균레 겁니베 ng외네 길륨 리부치 강니기 메도 중외 제제라 이랑 아주당 거진 제전 전지 차다시 구지 수요바 계시 용외 설대 수기탕 레네양 길륨 초네 질 상계 덴바탕 제자 반대 사제베 덴바 리부치니 나레 다신 게바 용외 칠도 구 게게 체마 참무잠야 마셰바르 구지 윤도 덴칭 투도기 고자 젠부 덴주 봉니 탐바르 쇼수 설와 라소 सर्व मंगलम
tene ngazo tinzi shezumba gyana wajirim choliya tala khachiriya ani singde chage rochi pirona she kemju shuayi. So we request His Holiness 43rd Section the Gyana Wajirim to offer a souvenirs to the volunteers. Talambucho tanda ming tanda team ki leader tenzo tanda ngazo lobby kabliya ani chi perona te nyamboliya perona shuayi. Talam so ming sendi law chopchi ani chidang azu talam ba mangbu yure tin alon department so chang azu tezem law mangbu yure tangbu de azu kanjon chundelengi sozo kesan episode perona shue
ngaju tanda chozo kesa phuzo la ne ya ngaju de nima sum nima shi gi ringal ya ngune kule chimbu shira gyon so jidang ngaju de thanglang ba ji yore je ne ina gengu di thanglang rang je je ne ya thalen de ya chale nambre songza ngaju chame gi ngone ya tuji ches je je ne ya shue yin
tene chiong gi tado sikto nangge sri petren la ta ani khong gi wole ya chale nangge chamlo pherona shue te nyambo ya fundraising committee tanda ngui turup nangge gi ani sikto nangge Jack and Amanda fundraising leader Jack and Amanda please come forward tene IT department na lo ya tanda di tuche tanda di my class obat ti gi ani tato genzi wangela da khong gi team Samlo Perona Shuai, then security Sungyo na Kusumba Nabagi, and Koti and Tintubla, the team Chaza Perona Shuai, Riva Chaza Perichan, then advisor Lotem Banake.
Or Tandati Tanda di jeli ya ngaju melam di chazu yungye chodali ya lobdu nangge sonam langa la da ani dene tanda di ya thapjang gi nanglo ya chale nangge khuna gi sanda pasan langa la ya tumun nyamdole pherona shuguyo di jele ya tanda ngaju thapjang gi nanglo ya chale nangge ujenla ya pherona chejin shuguyo an dene ngaju thapjang gi nanglo ya gengu chu shegen yang sonamla pherona chejin shueyin sonam yangdola ya pherona shuguyo di jele ya ngaju tanda ani kasure first aid kit nalo ya chale nangge bume chobe gi choshun srin domala ya pherona shuguyo srin domala ya pherona tene ngaju tanda IT section ki nanglo ya chale nangge doji gyanzen la re kasure video kyu nangge tanda doji gyanzen la re tanda Anthony la re Changwan la re number sum ya page ni nangro na shuguyo di jeli ya tanda ngaju gi demdun gi tole ya ani kasure togen zu shegen na ya sidunula daga na shi sri benjo la ani daga na shi losan kenam la ani sonam la dusen ya pherona shuguyo 지당 아주 당란한 게 망부 쇼지 요래전에 이나 코란주 다 가제 아주 디 사제게 mellom 탱 두고디 사주 용에 졸이야 고주 차상긴 소리야 차례 넘버에 손자디 인도간이야 자 가쇼래 참매기에 토지체 쇼디야 차 쇼첨부지야 답로노란 쇼고요 dendeng azo denja gi thole ya tugen zu shegen da tundubla yina tundubla tanda jamgun shuyo ba sonza tanda denja rangi de chale na je jele ya shegi sungdu yina ge tundula ge da kaje jamgun goma zu chebe ge ene gugu namba ya namdang ya pheya ne jene tanda de ya kasure ni sum ge ni shigi 아니 제고 용조기 톨이야 대자게 두견 주부 생애절에 손자 상말로 가지기 갑 주배 율례 상명원이야 도시체 쉬고요라 미마조 차 숙체스제 다루나 돈돌래 아직 야상 상로나 쉬고요 돈돌래 아직 상로나 도지체 나라 야 고름 춘주지 전이야 심주 첨부시다도 손자 대인도 간이야 아주 믹스에 도지체스 쉬고요 dende konda tanda de ngaju senda digi nanglo le ya yang cheba da la ba de yo to suna yang ngaju shuguli ya shu cho ba ji shu yi
rimchi chola katin che chue itne u melam soba ni cha ri pesa ke melam tepje kam ni be gyune namla leksu cha da che na gyu
tat ya konje chuni me ba se ya ta tu su te si ring sin so ta dande chale ya ngaju changari pesa ge zamli shide melam gi ani kap niwe gi gyule gi tuyun zo du yo re ani kap sumbal ya tari si du shu ye re ani gyule ningba so le ya u melam chobe gi ngoni ya ani chada buje je ge zerim de yi ani danda de ya jamgu tin지 시험받다 에네 군도 아비크르들 무체기 차니야 ngazu tanda 율레 갑 니베 솔이야 차다 피에레 슈비요 ngazu tanda 장아리 뺏사제 잠리 시대 멀람 체메 갑 니베기 율레기 나리아 소소 캠보 군가 셰랍라 소소 군가 캠보 셰랍라 아니 소슌 군조 딘질라 소슌 군조 딘질라 디젤이야 아니 인지기 중제 청완년제라 대유 디젤이야 ngazu 디라기 겐지 터치셔벨라 더 터치셔벨라 쳔마다지 이나야 갑 당보다 니베 게 로초기 링갈이야 차레나 브레시 슈에이 디젤이야 ngazu기 지바 잠발하줄라 디젤이야 ngazu 문예 소남 상골라 ngazu 문예 셴바 게 로르 쳐달라 디젤이야 ngazu public relation ki genzi new york ki genzi ngawang punjola 대가 나시 ngazu기 public relation ki new york ki genzi changwa nobula daga nashi ngazu canada ki public relation genzi de chiminamjela cha chomraji ne ya 장아리 뺏사제 잠리 시대 mellam기 갑 당보다 니와 니제기 아니 차레 넘버에 디다 냠돌이야 단다 산일의 여백이 사제 최고링기야 초조 제진이야 단다 뒤만 초조 대만 니지 난지의 여버레신이 주고요 디젤이야 캘리포니아기 아니 public relation 게 겐지 스린 초전라 ngazu tanda melam digi naliya chidang international rangzi cheniya gyaga nege thumiji yore tanda gadu chombela yore ina thalen deliya phe nan thu yo maris cheniya shuyo ani nga ani phui ki khasore thungi che cheniya losum gi ringra yi ngeming le touch top je shuyo 디젤이야 ngazu tanda yule saba 장아리 뺏사제 잠리 시대 mellam기 갑 숨베 yule saba so 달레 델이야 냠속 제제니야 참말로 가지 ngazu 덴데 쉬원 나시제니야 대패대유 인남소리야 ngodo 쉬에라이 yule 사바도 참말로야 야지 페로나 쉬고요 아주 장아리 뺏사제 잠리 시대 mellam기 yule saba yule 사베게 소조 율레 사베게 소소 캠보 군조 준비라 아니 율레 사베 나로야 로산 캐럽라도 아니 단다 생슌디 나래야 단다 미세메 아니 군지 균메 아버지 남아서 야스 패셔나 자연스리라 자미안라 논질라 치메 딘질라 나왕라 셀라 캘리포니아네 파산라 뉴욕네 치비오모 콜로라도네
간제디 귤레사베 촉지센디 캠버토디에 공배 쉬고래 건다 캠버토디에 공배
공다 단다 귤레사바 단다 참발하조라 갑 니베기 아니 지바체진 슈버레 달레야 무투니야 갑 숨베기 지바랑 제진이야 요슈게 귤레사와 무투니야 아니 갑 숨베기 귤레 나바솔이야 마주 지다 직시 시수 전에야 로드 숨레 제가 로드 숨기 되 나로리야 아니 겸고 고명기 수부 제베기 멀람기 미유 강요바 시송기 토네야 레드 토리야 아니 객메와다 바제메와 다가는 신기 루유두베기 가서 만두슈야지
간데 민네카 체콘다 지 니직 센트에 쳐바지 당부디야 데 안저 군가템발라 페로나 군가템바데 아니 지기 점군 옆색래야 아니 지기 소자다 시버지 균에를 하벨 내가 나셔서 군가템발라 페로나 쉬이 니버데야 단다 사자 최고링기 균에를 안저 잠갈라 페로나 잠갈라 원에 전에 지기 유릉부 시버지 차례 난제 단다 지물람 허저병을 할람 다우지 면지데 차로나 돼서 미세 잠갈라 페로나 세 참버스 차스도는 잠갈라
Tande Tenshu ki ani tari shoge di toliya ani biba biba di anchazan rimchene ma birijidin sobatan kanjo chiden liya nisore nanso andi ngaranzo gyunle da ansane mema changme chapshu tuche na shwe rimche
tene ngazo choshe melam choshe kujo denzlane tene tuje che songche na gyu word of thanks speech by our vice president Kuncho Denzla
Kendo Timbinga the Shanghai Koma Tishin Doji Chinbo Chotong, Tenzi Hini Barena Benza Romochicho, Tenzi Hizumba, Jana Benza Romochicho, Kendo Abiki Daromochicho, Kendo Asanga Romochicho, Sebi Kungo number, Ngo Tazikin Romochicho, Hase Timbizonze, Godeli, Tata Romochicho, Misa do Drembe Takuga. Konzo Triso Kongo Ki Kunde number Tong, Ani Peri Shidun Sobi Soso, Kersan Punsola, Choton, Ani Junle number, Ani King La Gendun Tong, Ta Peri Shidun Sopa, Saneji, Ta So Shikaki, Ginzi number Tong, Lasan Chinji, Tonglong number, Tong Kunde Yon La, Ani Nye, Shongari Melang. Zangli Kidiki Malang ta Tsak Shute, Nin Tabane in the Peale, Tujiche, Karinche, Shuayin. Ane Misato, Natsuke, Nin Sunke, Malang, Pemisim, Poson Soba Choyade, any Shanghai Comantashin, Doji Chimbo, any Konriki, Gardin Latin, Shuajire, then it day Nyando. Ani tata chuju kha tata tunzu number ton ta chuju kha ki kimbo troko gendum pare tani te masa ki misa ki tani sanen di ki peri shedon sopi soso sibi jonle ton ani te masa ki ta tonon mombo chi ndele hoda pada shele ta tata ngaro mi ki thongimba ni nga rin ton te mai pi ani dontra dawa mombo chi tende chi chale non sha si de tene ta chen number ki kadin ron le ten le ani teri ke ta nga so ke ni sum bi ke ta chi se ko teri so si tu ten ke ani gaga to to shile ani melang ya bo cha ya chi tende chi ten ge re si de tene choma yong su zo ba la tu je che kadin che se shwe yin Ani teri gongmo ke sosi ke kodishuni te pachi TCW ke soba number la son tradi pe mesi apo nonsha che number la ni taba ne tuji che karin che se shwe Ani taga nongge ke ta ngatso ke ngade ngado ani Canada tu ke melon te ta kora jelen rogi yore sidu tini ta talo te Canada le pe mesi apo chason ani maon pale Colorado re tini che number kon momo chi Colorado na pe thwe ke rewa ta melon shugi ani ngaro Colorado ke sane ke mi chin sang ani che number la nele kon momo chi shothaya ke rewa ton besen shugi yin se shwe yin Ani ta mumbo shumage we tone ani number the thoma tsering loja tashi lole ton ani lo ne lo ani ngaso shongari zangli khidi melang de pemisi yabo chwa chinamba soa ton melang ton ani tu ta to chinamba nyagu noro chi sele teshwe ani thuise karinche
Tene inji na che show song do tene yang zo tene zerim na ko sha to che song she song che so ko ge me she ta kan sa ta zin shu she da che tene tanda tene to che inji na shu cho chi tene tanda so thank you your holiness thank you Dear Holinesses, Dear Eminences, Sangha members and sponsors, and President of the Kangjun Chundiling, volunteers, and all the different departments, especially all the different departments, the leaders of the volunteers. So on behalf of all the members of North American Sakya Foundation for World Peace, I extend my heartfelt thanks, deep sense of gratitude to all of you, and also who have been the part of this Menlam success, directly or indirectly. Thank you so much, you all. And then we also apologize for whatever the shortcomings that we have since we be inexperienced in organizing such, but we apologize whatever the shortcomings or errors that we have done throughout this Menlam. Thank you so much. Tene tanda tipa suba namane tanda di jugdom gi tanda sani pe gi togar suba namne nasu tashi menzi gi namta bilam shuju. So to end this program, ask Tipa artists to present a namtar or an offering of melodious auspicious verses from Tibetan opera.
남다 당고들라 인율은 뭐 거의 대시쇼 예라 투주승기 대시쇼 안디 제마들라 뒤탈로 전점 디게서 전에 두산 뒤기다 저 라이언 제베 대신만 주스 出钱了。
공다 다지 냥치 쉬어야 제샤 아 로투투투 로송 투시 쉬어야 제샤 때꾸지 아 다당가서 음행랑 줄레케 둔체 안돌라마 아니 시동 음행랑 줄레네 가서레 라자 로소 랑단신이 페용르데 콘타파 동롱바 농게시 샤라시 농조거데 때 따바르게 로타바 제도근도 시도 아니 콘레 체남바 샤사 타제시 데 나로치 페메심 로송 지린라 페메심 샤로야 번노송 안돌라마 투셰나 때 제샤 공다